Welcome everybody to my first gaming creepypasta, or creepypasta in general. So, I kind of got this idea off of a couple YouTubers, Somewhere Near Gamers, my friend Dumoy. But let's just get started. I'm going to be reading the Pokemon Black creepypasta. I got some Lavender Town in the background just to give you guys a headache. Nothing. Let's start this. I'm what you would call a collector of bootleg Pokemon games. Pokemon Diamond and Jade. It's Chaos Black. It's amazing the frequency with which you can find them at pawn shops, Goodwill, flea markets, and such. They're generally fun, even if they're unplayable, which they often are. The mistranslations and poor quality make them unintentionally humorous. I've been able to find most of the ones that I've played online, but there's one that I haven't seen any mention of. I bought it at a flea market about 5 years ago. Here's a picture of the cartridge. It's just a blank cartridge with the Pokemon in it, in case anyone recognizes it. Unfortunately, when I moved 2 years ago, I lost the game, so I can't provide you with screen caps. Sorry. The game started with the familiar Nidorino and Gengar intro of Red and Blue version. However, the press start screen had been altered. Red was there, but the Pokemon did not cycle through. It also said Black version under the Pokemon logo. Also, guys, sorry if the music is kind of glitchy. It's not really my fault. Upon selecting New Game, the game started the Professor Oak speech, and it quickly became evident that the game was essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting your starter, it looked at your Pokemon. You had, in addition to Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, another Pokemon, Ghost. The Pokemon was level 1. It had the sprite of the ghosts that are encountered in Lavender Town before obtaining the Sliff Scope. It had one attack, Curse. I know that there is a real move named Curse, but the attack did not exist in Generation 1. So it appears it was hacked in. Defending Pokemon were unable to attack Ghost. It would only say they were too scared to move. When the move Curse was used in battle, the screen would cut to black. The cry of the defending Pokemon would be heard, but it was distorted, played at a much lower pitch than normal. The battle screen would then reappear, and the defending Pokemon would be gone. If used in a battle against a trainer, when the Pokeballs representing their Pokemon would appear in the corner, they would have one fewer Pokeball. The implication was that the Pokemon died. What's even stranger is that after defeating a trainer and seeing Red receive $200 for winning, the battle commands would appear again. If you selected Run, the battle would end as it normally does. You could also select Curse. If you did, upon returning to the overworld, the trainer's sprite would be gone. After leaving and re-entering the area, the spot where the trainer had been would be replaced with a tombstone like the ones at Lavender Tower. The move Curse was not usable in all instances. It would fail against ghost Pokemon. It would also fail if it was used against trainers that you would have to face again, such as your rival or Globany. I don't know if I said that. It is usable in your final battle against them, however. Where is it? 1 second. Okay. I figured this was the gimmick of the game, allowing you to use the previously uncapturable ghosts. And because Curse made the game so easy, I essentially used it throughout the whole adventure. The game changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four. After viewing the Hall of Fame, which consisted of Ghost and a couple of very underleveled Pokemon, the screen cut to black. A box appeared with the words "Many years later." It then cut to Lavender Town. An old man was standing looking at tombstones. You then realized the man was your character. The man moved at only half your normal walking speed. You no longer had any Pokemon with you, not even Ghost. Well, up to this point, it had been impossible to move from your party through depositing in the PC. The overworld was entirely empty. There were no people at all. There were still the tombstones of the trainers that used Curse on, however. You go pretty much anywhere in the overworld at this point, though your movement was limited by the fact that you had no Pokemon to use HMs. And regardless of where you went, the music of Lavender Town continued in an infinite loop. After wandering for a while, I found that if you go through Diglett's cave, one of the cuttable bushes that normally blocks the path on the other side is no longer there, allowing you to advance and return to Pallet Town. Upon entering your house and going to the exact tile where you start the game, the screen would cut to black. Then a sprite of a Caterpie appeared. It was then replaced by a Weedle, and then a Pidgey. I soon realized, as the Pokemon progressed from Rattata to Blastoise, that these were all the Pokemon that I had used Curse on. At the end of my rival's team, a youngster appeared, and then a bug catcher. These were the trainers I had cursed. Throughout the sequence, the Lavender Town music was playing, but it was slowly decreasing in pitch. By the time your rival appeared on screen, it was little more than a demonic rumble. Another cut to black. A few minutes later, the battle screen suddenly appeared. Your trainer sprite was now that of an old man, the same one as the one who teaches you how to catch Pokemon in Viridian City. Ghost appeared on the other side, along with the words, "Ghost wants to fight." You couldn't use items and you had no Pokemon. If you tried to run, you couldn't escape. The only option was fight. Using fight would immediately cause you to use struggle, which didn't affect Ghost, but did chip off a bit of your own health point. When it was Ghost's turn to attack, it would simply say, ellipses. Eventually, when your health point reached a critical point, Ghost would finally use Curse. The screen cut to black a final time. Regardless of the buttons you pressed, you were permanently stuck in this black screen. At this point, the only thing you could do was turn the Game Boy off. When you played again, New Game was the only option. The game had erased the file. I played through this hack game many times, and every time the game ended with this sequence. Several times I didn't use Ghost at all, though he's impossible to remove from the party. In these cases, it did not show any Pokemon or trainers and simply cut to the climatic battle with Ghost. I'm not sure what the motives were behind the creator of this hack. It wasn't widely distributed, so it was presumably not for monetary gain. It was very well done for a bootleg. It seems he was trying to convey a message, so it seems I am the sole receiver of this message. I'm not entirely sure what it was, the inevitability of death, the pointlessness of it. Perhaps he was simply trying to morbidly inject death and darkness into a children's game. Regardless, this children's game had made me think, and it has made me cry. Well, that was Pokemon Creepy Black. It's really common creepypasta, and footage on screen is a game, or is the hack bootleg thing. You can't really get it on a Game Boy. I don't think. But yeah, it's actually like a real game and everything. That's a real creepypasta. I mean, why wouldn't it be? But it's about this creepy hacked Pokemon game, which is really messed up. And even in the beginning, Professor Oak says like he hates effing Pokemon. Like he literally says the F word, and it's actually pretty interesting. But I'm sorry guys, I don't have a link for the hack ROM because I don't even know how to get the ROM. I almost tried getting it, and it was really difficult. This is just some footage that I got. But I hope you guys enjoyed that or my creepypasta. This is my first one, so again, don't rip on it because I know it's probably pretty awful. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.